Hi everyone, and welcome to today's class. And in this class we're going to combine movements from Yang Yoga, which is more dynamic, more engaging and active forms of yoga, such as Vinyasa Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga. And we're going to also combine that with our Yin work, so our Yin Yoga. Now, the two differences are that Yang is the active, the masculine, the animating energy. So when we are in Yang, we're generating more heat, more fire in the body, which we call tapas. And this form of yoga, Yang Yoga, is where we engage muscle. So we really work to engage our muscles, and we work in active stretching. And then Yin, on the other hand, is what you guys know so well. Through this time that you've been with me on Patreon, we've been exploring the softening, the feminine, the relaxation, the ability to let go into a pose, to muscularly relax, so that we can reach the fascia, the soft tissue of the body. And so in Yang Yoga and Yin Yoga, we do opposite things, but they're complementary to one another. So it's great to do Yang and Yin in the same practice. So let's begin. And in order to begin your Yang and Yin practice today, let's come to Child's Pose. And so moving your knees wide, allow your big toes to touch, and sinking your sit bones back towards your heels. And then come to a child's pose, relaxing your forehead forwards. And here we'll take a deep breath in and big sigh out. Long deep breath in and big sigh out. And then one more, inhale deeply and sighing out. And now as you relax entirely, begin to breathe more deeply. This time in through the nose and out through the nose. Now as you come to an all fours position, let's bring and stack your knees underneath your hips, bringing your palms underneath your shoulders. For the next inhale, lift the chest and lifting the tailbone. Really arch your spine here, draw the shoulders back, open the chest. And then as you exhale, round through your spine, draw up through lower abdomen, hang the head heavy, and really round the upper back. Breathe in to tilt the sit bones back behind you, lifting the chest really slowly, gaze forwards, shoulders draw backwards. And exhale to round, chin into chest, press the floor away. Good, so inhale to arch your back. Tilt the sit bones high behind you. Draw the shoulders back, open the chest, really engage the back body. And exhale to round, draw lower abdomen inwards first. Draw up through your pelvic floor muscles, round the upper back and hang the head. Good. And now come back to a neutral spine and reaching your right arm forwards and left leg backwards. Grow long through both, really extend. And then as you breathe out, draw your elbow in towards the chest, bring your knee towards your nose and touch your elbow on your knee. Press down actively through your left hand. Breathe in to reach arm and leg long again. And use the core, stabilize whilst you move. As you exhale, bring your elbow to your knee. Knee to elbow, round through the upper back. Breathe in to extend. And exhale to round. Breathe in to extend. And exhale to round, really draw up through the lower core and slowly release. And now as we move to the opposite side, lengthen through your left arm and right leg. Grow long through both, really flex your back foot. Stabilize, spread the fingers wide on your right hand. Then as you breathe out from the core, draw the elbow to the knee, knee to elbow, touch and round. Breathe in to extend. And exhale to hug inwards. Super slowly. Inhale to extend outwards. And exhale to hug inwards. And one more. Inhale to extend. Really reach beyond your bones. And then exhale to engage and hug inwards. Good. And then placing your hand and knee down again. Take a breath in to arch your spine. Cow stretch. As you exhale, round through the spine, press the floor away. Breathe into arch. Waking up the spine today, and exhale to round. Now walking your palms forwards, allow your forearms to rest on the ground and sink to your forearms and forehead. And this is our yin position. So after the engagement of the core and the entire body there, now begin to really settle and sink into puppy dog. And using this moment in stillness to really soften and sink. Now, in your yin positions, we remain still. Allow the breath to deepen. And really working the breath around your whole body. Encouraging the chest to sink. You can always bring your chin to the ground. And in our yin positions, focus on really softening, letting go, extending your heart center downwards towards the floor. And taking a deep breath into the back body. And exhale to melt and soften through the center of your chest. So you'll notice the different sensation contrasted with the engagement in the movement. Now we're opening the fascia and the muscle and the tissue that surrounds the upper back, the upper chest, front of the arms, and stimulating the meridian lines in the inner arms. Improving our range of motion. Now in slow motion, press into your forearms, round through the upper back, and come to your palms once more, really rounding. Counter pose the opening we had through the front of the body. Tuck your toes under and press into downward facing dog pose. So now we're using that opening through the front of the body to move into a more open down dog. Bend your knees first of all, tilt the sit bones high, and press into your palms, lengthening through the arms. Make sure that you're in one line from your feet all the way to your hips. So tilt the sit bones back Really lift the back of the thighs towards the ceiling. And then, if you want to, you can straighten your legs, keeping the upper body really long and really open. This is downward facing dog pose. Hug your triceps inwards and towards your face. Hollow out the belly, so we can always draw the lower abdomen inwards. And press your heels away from you actively. So hands and feet are really active in this pose. Press them away from one another. On your next inhale, come forwards so your shoulders are over your wrists. Come to a high plank position. Now, instead of collapsing through the chest, press away from the ground so you round the upper back. Hold here. Working more breath around the engagement of the upper back, the traps. See if you can really engage serratus anterior and move the effort away from the traps by pressing the floor away and rounding the upper back more. Take one more breath in through all the shakes. And then as you exhale, bring your knees down, bend your elbows and lower yourself all the way to the ground. As you next breathe in, come to Sphinx pose. So move your forearms to the floor and arc your heart forwards, lifting the chest, and allow your breath to really settle here. And in Sphinx pose, lifting the chest, allow the head to be in neutral, closing your eyes. And bring the awareness fully inwards. So in these video practices, they are short moments of yoga that you can fit into your day so that you awaken your entire body and the energy lines, the chi or the prana that flows through these meridians or nadis, energy pathways in the body. By moving your body, you're reinvigorating it, finding new range of motion. And you can think about the body as being a mirror for the mind, or vice versa, the mind is often a mirror for the body and the state of the body. So when we're injured physically, mentally we don't feel as good, and vice versa, if we don't feel good mentally, then our body really feels it. We can feel stress and tension in certain areas build up. So they are both mirrors for one another. And by moving our body, invigorating the body, finding new shapes and challenging our body, we're also opening our mind and the capacity for change there. Now, if you do want to go further in Sphinx pose, then press into your palms, turn them outwards and lift your elbows. And really allow the shoulders to relax here, sink into gravity more. We're opening through the front of the hips here, so we can choose to walk your palms towards you and prop your chest up higher in seal position. Breathe into the hips here. Breathing deeply down into the front of the pelvis. And encouraging the breath to move around areas of sensation or areas of opening. And now taking your last few breaths here, or in Sphinx pose, if you would like to move to your forearms. So at any point, feel free to listen to your body and modify on the forearms. And see if you can access that place of meditation where you're simply watching, witnessing your experience. And taking your last breath in here. And as you exhale, moving your elbows wide and slowly release forwards. Take a moment to pause and breathe into your back body. And exhale with a sigh. And now slide your palms under your shoulders, engage your core and lift up to all fours once more. As we move into all fours, move through cat-cow to really open the spine again. So inhale to arch, engaging the back body, draw the shoulders back, and exhale to round, pressing the floor away. Breathe into arch. And exhale to round. And then one more, inhale to arch. Waking up the spine with movement. And exhale to round. Good, come back to a neutral spine. Tuck your toes under and raise your hips to downward facing dog pose. Pedal your feet, so bend one knee and then the other. And working through the back of the legs with movement, yang. Activation of the arms, press the floor away. Engaging the muscle of the body, hug muscle to bone. And now, as you next breathe in, you can move from all fours, so you can always come down to here if you want to move, or in a more active way, you can move from downward facing dog pose. And breathe in to raise your right leg high behind you. As you breathe out, swing your knee towards your nose. Now move your shin to a 45-degree angle, pointing your knee towards your right wrist and the toes towards your left hip. And then slide your left toes backwards. And we're in half pigeon position. So setting up in half pigeon pose, we can choose to have a block under your right glute or have nothing there and space behind you to sink back into. Then come to your forearms. Take a breath in to lengthen and exhale to fold and release your forehead to the hands. You can choose to have the backs of the hands as a pillow. Or you can choose to be more upright today if you would like a deeper option. So the deeper option for our sleeping swan in Yin Yoga is to move your palms sideways, much like we did in our seal position, and to rest and really hang on the support of the arms, closing the eyes. By propping up the chest, we're working more in the front of your leg and hip. So this one we call swan position, and sleeping swan is where we're on the forearms resting. So it's up to you which one you would like to practice today. Breathing into the belly. And relax the entire body. Allow the body to melt and soften and sink. Now, you can also switch between the two positions, but feel free to take one option the entire time. I like to alternate, sometimes resting downwards in sleeping swan when I feel as though it's a bit too intense. Become yin-like, relax every muscle. whole body softens and relaxes. Now imagine melting, so soften every muscle, really letting go into gravity. The magic of yoga is that we can learn so much in positions that challenge us. We can understand what it means to really hold space for an uncomfortable feeling or situation or relationship or challenge. And we can utilize what we learn on the mat when holding space for our intense yoga poses off the mat too. So when we are in a situation where it's really challenging us, or hurt is involved, or there's pain, or there's uncomfortableness, whether it's in speaking our truth or compassionately listening to another, whatever it is that's challenging us, we can call upon our breath movement. We can call upon our ability to create space, creating space mentally so we can fully listen, fully show up in the moment. And this can get us through the most challenging moments in life. Now taking your last breath in here, in your variation of swan, and slow motion release. So first off, come to your forearms, and then tuck your back toes under and move your knee towards you so that you have space to press into your palms and swivel your right knee into alignment, right foot behind the leg once more. And flex your foot behind you, press the heel back to release your leg. You have the option here to take it in a yin style, so moving your head to the floor, child's pose. Or more yang, come to your high plank pose, press into your palms and your feet and hold high plank. Hold here for 5. So either working yang or yin today for 4. Breathing deep for 3. Keep rounding your upper spine. 2. And 1. And now lift up into downward facing dog pose. In downward facing dog or all fours, breathe in to raise your left leg behind you. And exhale to swing your knee to your nose. And then move your left knee to your left elbow, swivel the foot towards the right hip and lower your shin at a 45-degree angle. Slide your right toes backwards. So setting up in your sleeping swan pose, you can have space behind you under your left glute, and you can have a block there if you would like to. So you can support yourself in any way you need to, and then come to your forearms. For sleeping swan, we rest the forehead to the backs of the hands. Lowering the body so that there's a little more compression, a little more squeeze in the front leg, which is stimulating the gallbladder meridian line on the outer leg and the outer hip. Or we can choose to take swan position. So we raise up, bring the palms outwards, much like seal pose earlier, propping the chest up and relax into the position. So you don't have to uphold the pose by pressing the chest higher, but rather sink your chest down and forwards. Relax into this position, this swan position. Breathing deeply. Really softening through the front of your right hip. And right leg relaxes behind you. Feel gravity. Feel this downward movement of energy. Feel the grounding of the hips and the pelvis. At any point, feel free to switch between the two positions, resting effortlessly within the relaxed yin-like position. Breathe into the hips, breathing into your fullest breath, breathing out to melt and soften further towards the ground. And the more you relax into the pose, the deeper the gentle compressive action, gentle squeeze of the front leg, the more it deepens. And stimulates the chi, the prana, the essence energy, so that when we do release new, fresh, oxygenated blood moves into the tissues that we've really squeezed and compressed. Resting as effortlessly as you can in your pose. And if you practiced swan pose, the more upright pose on the previous side, make sure you go there at some point so that you're more even across both sides. Now in slow motion, taking your last breath in, extending the breath downwards, and slowly release, pressing into both palms. Now it's good actually to remain on your forearms. Tuck your back toes under, move your hips forwards, moving the right knee forwards, so that you can swivel mindfully with space your left foot behind the left knee, and then straighten your leg behind you, releasing the foot. And here, either child's pose, or if you're feeling more yang today, downward facing dog pose. And take a moment to pause in your resting pose. Take a deep breath in and sighing out. And now as we come to a more upright position, and swing your legs forwards as you come to lie on the back. Once you have lowered yourself down to rest on your back here, hug your knees inwards and move mindfully from side to side, really massaging the lower back and the sacroiliac area. And placing your feet hip width apart, right next to your glutes. As you breathe in, curl your tailbone underneath you, lift the hips, and really raise the pelvis towards the ceiling. Now, free your neck more. So first off, you can always move your neck to free it. Shimmy your shoulder blades underneath you. Interlace your fingers right next to your sacrum and your glutes. And then see if you can straighten your arms. So this is a more engaged pose. This one we call bridge position. Press into your feet and lift your hips, almost like you're trying to lift your chest towards your chin. Really puff up the chest, arch the back, then also lift your chin away from your chest more. So this will allow you to maintain a good curve in the back of the neck. Really press into your legs, make sure they're warming. Perhaps you feel them working. Maybe they're even shaking. And hold here for 3 more breaths. 3. And 2. One last deep breath in. And release your palms, slow motion curl down through the upper back, mid back and lower back. You can also lift your heels off the ground so you can curl down through your entire spine. Take a pause here and lean your knees in on one another. Take a breath in and sigh it all out. Feel the effect of your yang position, your engaged back bend. Now hug your knees inwards and move both knees to your right side. Now we're going to move both knees to your right side, taking a short spinal twist. Hug your knees high towards you and reach your left arm wide in line with your left shoulder. Take a breath into your upper back. Exhale to press your left shoulder downwards towards the ground. Draw the lower abdomen inwards more actively and feel the twist through the entire body. And let's move to the opposite side. So bring your knees back to center using the core and lower them to your left. Reach long through your right side and right arm. Take a breath into your right shoulder. And exhale to really twist and press your right shoulder downwards. Breathe into right shoulder. And exhale to press the right shoulder downwards. One more breath in. Exhaling. And use your core to move your knees back to center. Hug them in one final time. And lengthen both legs into Savasana. Now you can choose to have your bolster under your knees here, or legs long, palms facing upwards a little away from the sides of your body. Allow your fingers to naturally curl and relax. And feel the effect of your Yang and Yin class today. Take a final deep breath in. Exhaling, letting every muscle relax. Resting in sweet surrender. Whole body surrender. Whole body surrender. Now, moving your awareness back into your physical body. Make small movements in your fingers and your toes, hugging one knee into your chest and then the other. Rock from side to side, rolling to one side, whichever side feels good. And come to a seated position. Bring the palms into prayer pose. Grow tall through your spine, and in your meditation seat, feel into the effect of your practice today. Noticing any quietening of the mind, or any greater space to breathe into physically. And to end, we'll take a deep breath in, sighing out. Raising your thumbs to your third eye, breathing in deeply. Exhale to fold forwards. Namaste. Namaste, everyone, and let me know if you enjoyed this Yang and Yin fusion, so this combination of the two. And it's, I find, a very good way to feel that sense of grounding, but at the same time to feel as though you've worked your body. There may have been new poses for you, and maybe challenging poses too, so it's great to be challenged in a different way. Let me know if this is suitable for you, and I'll make more of them. If not, Yin Yoga is my passion, my love, so I would love to share many more positions and many more teachings in that too. So let me know how you feel about Yang and Yin. And I filmed this one as it's good to have variety for you in this database that I'm building of practices that you can access at home. So have a very amazing day, and I will connect with you soon.